everyone, welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making the K-stitch into a square. K-stitch is a classic stitch. It's you'll find it all over the internet and in crochet books, also known as crossed trebles. It's got this lovely, it looks a bit like an X, but we work it as a sort of K stitch, so we make a letter K, I guess. So
You alright, babe?
No.
What happened?
I'm waffling and saying all stupid things and now I can't. Hello everybody, welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making the K-stitch square. It's quite an old classic stitch, also known as crossed trebles. So if I hold this up here you can probably see it a bit better. So we've got this sort of, it looks a bit like a cross X shape, but it's the way we make it, it's kind of like a K, letter K. It's really simple to work up, and once you know how to do a row, then that's it really. So nice and simple. The hardest part about this square is deciding which you're going to have as the front or which you're going to have as the back, because we do our K stitch and we do a row of single crochets alternately. So the hardest thing to decide is whether you're going to have the front of your K stitch or the front of your single crochet. So it looks pretty good both sides, so it's completely up to you which you do there. So let's grab a hook. You can do this in coloured stripes if you like, however you fancy. I'm just going to do it in one colour and get you started. So grab a hook and some yarn and let's get going. Okay, now because this is a pattern done in rows, it's not always as easy to change it for size, and obviously some of us crochet tighter, some crochet looser, so I'm going to make it the size of this, which is about 6 inches for me, but then I'll tell you how you can make it bigger or smaller. So I suggest that you work up one row and then see what it's like for size and then adjust it by that, and it doesn't take too long to do a row, so you could just redo that row. So sometimes we just have to have a go and see what happens. So we're going to chain 27. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I know that sounds like a lot, but we need it. So we are going to do a row of single crochet, and we are going to go into the second chain from the hook and do 26 single crochets all the way down. So make sure you count them, that you're doing the right amount, or you won't be able to do your pattern correctly. So 26 single crochets, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, when you have 26 chains, it will be a bit curly, but this will right itself once we start doing the K stitch. It still is a little bit curly, you can see here, but you can block it and that will make it straight, or when you start to sew it, obviously it will be straighter there. So let's grab some more yarn. So what we're going to do now is we need to bring up the height of a treble crochet. So we're using US terms, just give you a reminder there. So we're going to chain 4 and turn your work, and then so this is this very first stitch is where we've got our chain 4 coming from, so miss that one every time, and then yarn over twice for your treble crochet into the next stitch, pop your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and you'll have 3 loops left. Okay, leave those on your hook, yarn over again, skip a stitch and go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and now you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and this is we've got these 2 legs down here, and then this part coming up here. So follow this down here, you can see hopefully. Okay, so what we're going to class is legs, and then this part coming up here. Okay, so what we need to do now is chain 1 and then yarn over. We're going to do a double crochet into the space between your legs, so between your stitches legs. So if you just separate these slightly, you will see this space here. See, there's a little hole there, so go into that and do your double crochet in there, and that is your K-stitch. That is your K-stitch. That's how simple it is. So we're going to do that again. So yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, leave 3 on your hook, yarn over, skip a stitch, go into the next, yarn over, pull through, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We're going to do that 4 times, so we end up with just 1 loop left on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, and now we're going to do our double crochet in this space here. There we go. Second K-stitch done. Depending on how tight or loose you work, depends how big your gap will be in this center here. So do that again, yarn over twice into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, skip a stitch into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then we do this 1, 2, 3, 4 times, chain 1, double crochet into this gap here. There we go. That's how easy the K-stitch is. I will do it all the way to the end of this row with you. So yarn over twice into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, skip a stitch, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, double crochet into this space. There you go. So yarn over twice into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, skip a stitch into the next stitch, 1, 2, 3 and 4, chain 1, double crochet into this space. Okay, yarn over twice into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, skip a stitch into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, double crochet in this space, yarn over twice into the next stitch, oops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, skip a stitch into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, yarn over, double crochet in between there, and our last one, yarn over twice into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, skip a stitch into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, double crochet in this space here. And then in your last stitch you're going to do a treble crochet. So yarn over twice, go into your very last stitch and do that treble crochet. And that is the end of your row. And that is how simple this is. So that's the end of your first row. Okay, now this is the time to have a measure and see if it's the right width for you. If it's too wide, if it's come up quite big, then what you can do is undo it, take out 3 chains and do exactly the same again, but instead of having 26 single crochets, you will have 23 single crochets, and you will have, instead of having 8 case stitches, you will have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you'll have 23 single crochets instead of 26, and 7 case stitches instead of 8. Okay, if so you'll start with 24 chains instead of 27. So that's the only difference. You'll just do 1 less case stitch in the middle. Okay, and if it happens to be too small by any chance, you're doing with smaller yarn or crocheting quite tightly, then you can add 3 chains to it. So you'll be starting with 30 chains and making 29, no, you'll be starting with 30 chains and you'll be making 29 stitches instead of 26, and you'll be making 9 case stitches instead of 8. Okay, so that's just how to resize it if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to continue with this this size, and the next row couldn't be more simple. It is just a single crochet row. You're going to alternate case stitches and single crochets. So for your next row, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and then you're going to start in this very first stitch and do a single crochet, and you're going to do a single crochet in the top of each stitch. So each stitch has each case stitch has 3 parts. So you've got this first side here, and then do 1 over the chain, and then do 1 in the next side. Okay, so you've got 3 single crochets over 1 case stitch, and if you count your way along, you will have 26 single crochets all the way along. Okay, so 1 in each stitch and 1 in each chain space, and I'll see you at the end. At the end, you're going to do 1 in your very top chain. So you started with 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to do a single crochet in your very top chain there. And there you have it, 26 single crochets later. You just need to make sure that when you're doing your single crochets that you don't crochet too tightly, because it will sort of end up in this shape, because you'll be pulling each second row, you'll be pulling it in tighter. So just make sure you don't do it too tight, and then it will stay straight like this. Okay, so that's your single crochet row, and then it's back to your case stitch row. So all you need to do is chain 4 turn your work, and then remember you don't go into this very first stitch because that's where your chain 4 comes from, equivalent to your treble. And then you're just going to go into the next stitch, so chain 2, yarn over twice, go into your next stitch, and it will be the very top of where this K-stitch is, so you'll be going into the top 2 spaces, and your chain will be directly above as well. So yarn over twice into your next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, skip a stitch, go into the next, pull through, and then pull through 2, through 2, through 2, and through 2, chain 1, and then a double crochet in this space here in between. And there you go. And then you're going to work straight off into your next stitch for your next K-stitch, and you're going to work along all the way, doing one above each one. If you look here, they are directly in line with each other. Okay, so they're just coming down directly in line. Okay, so work your way along all the way to the end, and then when you get to the end, you're going to do just your treble crochet in the top of this stitch here. Okay, so K, 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 and then a treble crochet. And then you're going to do a chain 1, turn your work, and work a row of single crochet all the way back, and then do exactly as we've just done here with your chain 4 and then your row of K-stitches, and that's all there is to it. So simple. And then I've worked 5 rows of K-stitch here and finished with my single crochet at the top. So that is all there is to it. I'm not going to complete this one right now. I'm going to leave you to complete it. If you need a reminder, just rewind the video a few minutes and follow that back. And as I said, the hardest thing really is deciding whether you want to have your single crochets on the back or the front. Do you want your K-stitches on the back or the front? So that's the only thing you really need to decide. So I'll leave you to it, and look forward to seeing your squares in the group. Don't forget to upload your photos in the Facebook group. The link is in the description below, and leave any comments or questions, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you've liked this video and found it useful and helpful. And until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your teeth get cold.